let's see here. Okay. Make sure everything's going okay. Okay, audio sounds good. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Malin coming at you with another Madden 24 live stream. Going to go ahead and get started with the rebuilds a little bit early. We're actually going to start them really before the season really ends, because last year I started up a rebuild with the Houston Texans, who were pretty bad. It was like towards the end of the year. The playoffs were about to begin, but I wanted to get the rebuild started. But I decided to start one a little bit early. In the last live stream, I talked about how I might be veering towards that because the Superstar mode, which actually in the old gen is technically still called Face of the Franchise and has all the exact same elements, I don't know how much I'm going to be playing that mode. I'm just being real. And I want to wait a little bit with the Cowboys franchise because I've already gone through a full season. I've already led them to a Super Bowl championship. Year 2 will probably be the next live stream that I do after I go through the rest of the off season and kind of set the team up for 2024. So, basically, with this very first rebuild I want to do, I wanted to take the worst team in the game. And according to the research that I've done, I went through all the teams, scrolled through them, tried to see who had the lowest overall. And the Arizona Cardinals won the bidding for me to do the rebuild of the worst team. So basically, then again, I don't know if this is technically applicable to next-gen PS5, but on old-gen PS4, at least with the active rosters as of now, with the regular season beginning, the worst-rated roster is the Arizona Cardinals, 74 overall, 76 offense, 73 defense, not looking very good. Now, I don't really know exactly what shape this roster's in because as of right now, I don't see Kyler Murray listed at the top in terms of the most talented players. Our top players right now are Budda Baker, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Zach Ertz. But let's get started with the Cardinals, and let's get going. So I'm going to keep it on the preseason, and I'm going to go owner, and I'm going to make the owner, you know what, let's put the guy in charge who led them back to relevance in 2008. That's right. So, Kurt Warner, Hall of Fame quarterback, played many years with the Cardinals. He is going to be taking over as the owner and trying to rebuild this team. Let me just go ahead and do the league settings. I probably should have done this before I got things going, but it is what it is. Let me just make sure that everything is there. I want Coach Firing to be on because it could be a few years and then we let our coach go. So we'll see. I want salary cap on, definitely. I want to be able to give, let's see, injury, pre-existing injury career clock. Okay, full on field control, I want that off. Minimum, season player movement unlimited, off-season player cut limit, overall restrictions, breakout, develop traits. Okay, let's go 8-minute quarters. We're going to go accelerated clock, which is only going to be 15 seconds. Going to do customized weekly training, audio, auto, off-season free agency bidding, injury management, preseason cut days, contract negotiations, scout college players. I want that auto. League advancement auto. Managed practice reps auto as well. So tutorial pop-ups, we'll turn those off. Auto progress players on. Auto progress talents on. And fill roster, let's turn that to off. We'll make the adjustments on the fly as the owner and everything. Okay. So we're going to get started year one with the Cardinals. Now, I want to see what's going on because I know in real life Kyler Murray is injured. I don't know how long he's injured, though. Who knows? We may be starting out pretty much near the bottom here. Let's take a look at our roster. We are in the preseason. I decided to go ahead and start in the preseason, mostly because I might want to add some free agent additions, and I want to have first dibs. So we do have Kyler Murray. His overall has dipped to a 79. Now, that could be partly because he's injured, but goodness gracious, Kyler Murray all the way down to a 79 overall. That's not good. Joshua Dobbs is currently our backup, so if Murray is in fact hurt, Dobbs is going to be our starter for maybe the first few weeks of the season. Clayton Tune is backing him up as our third stringer. We have a decent running back in James Conner, but 77 overall is not too great. Marlon Mack is nicked up, it looks like, as well, with the way this, updated roster is. So he's a 72. Keontae Ingram and Demercado. Not really too familiar with a whole lot of players. We have no fullbacks. Our best receiver is Marquise Brown, and we have Rondale Moore, who's an 80 overall. So we have 2 receivers in the 80s, so that's not a bad starting point. Pascal, I think the former Bill, I think he used to be with the Bills. He's a 74. Dortch is a 73. And Michael Wilson is a 69. So receiving core, not that great. Our tight end, it actually is good in Zach Ertz. Now, he's been in the league for 10 years, so he's getting a little bit long in the tooth. So that may be a guy that we have to look at replacing in the future, but we'll see. I think Ertz has at least a few good years left. Trey McBride, Jeff Swain, the former Cowboy, and Bill. I forgot he was in Arizona. He's our 3rd stringer. Higgins and Brewer. So offensive line, DJ Humphries, left tackle, 79. Elijah Wilkinson, 71. Ilfline is our 69 overall center, but he's hurt. Will Hernandez, actually, that's a pretty solid right guard to have, even though he's a 76. And Paris Johnson, 77. So no offensive lineman is in the 80s. They're all in the high 70s, so not very highly rated. Our left end, LJ Collier, is a 67. And Carlos Watkins, I remember him in Dallas, he's a 67 as well. And Leaky Fotu is our defensive tackle. So our defensive line isn't even in the 70s. So the first year, our defense may get wholesomely destroyed big time. And White is our starting linebacker. Sanders, but he's nicked up as well. We have a lot of injuries, too. I got to look at the injury report and see how long these guys are going to be out. Marco Wilson, Antonio Hamilton. Corners need work big time. I mean, Patrick Peterson's been gone for a while, so that needs to be upgraded. Jalen Thompson, 80 overall free safety. All right, I'd probably work with that. And we still have Budda Baker. He's our highest overall player. Now, I know in real life that Baker wants to be traded, but I don't think I'm going to go with that whole scenario with this rebuild, because right now, based on the fact that he's the face of our defense and he is a guy that is a 91 overall strong safety, it's somebody for this defense that I just feel like we have to build around. We have to have somebody in the secondary and on this defense who is respectable, because Calais Campbell's been gone for years. We don't have a good. We're really not good at linebacker. I mean, you saw our defensive line. None of the guys who were starting are in the 70s. So starting out pretty low. But you know what? This is why you do rebuilds. And Matt Prater's 79 overall kicker. That's not too bad. And Cooley is a 65 overall punter. So now we got to get down to business and take a look at. First of all, I want to take a look at the injury report and see kind of what we're working with, at least as we start the preseason. Because I want to see how many of these injuries are serious to the point where we're not going to be able to use these guys in year 1. So we have a lot of injuries. So Pat Eiflin has a dislocated hip. He's out for 5 weeks. Now, something tells me that a lot of these injuries could be pretty accurate. Marlon Mack has an Achilles tear. So he's on IR. And all of these guys are on IR. So Kyler Murray is on IR, and he won't be able to return this season. He has a partial ACL tear. Let me actually look up something in real life. What is Kyler Murray's real injury? So he tore his ACL in week 14. I forgot that last season. Yeah, so he's still recovering from ACL. I'm a little bit upset that they just put him on IR with this updated roster, and we basically can't use him for the first year. So this really actually kind of bites. So that's actually going to make me adjust things a little bit here. So yeah, all these guys that are injured, we can't bring them back. They're all on IR, because you see it says IR, yes, 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 yes for all these guys. So we can't bring any of these guys back, which really is painful. So I'm going to have to take a really serious look at the depth chart here and see kind of what we're looking like for right now. This first season video is probably going to be a lot of adjusting, and I'm not going to play the whole season. I'm going to simulate this season for the most part and get us to the end of this season, because basically, unfortunately for the first year, based off of the way that they have these rosters constructed, we can't even have Kyler Murray in the first year. We can't play him. So basically, this is what we're looking like. So right now, Joshua Dobbs is our starter. Now, Connor is healthy, so he's our running back. As far as fullback, Trey McBride is listed in there. He's our backup tight end. Receivers, receivers are healthy, so that's good. We don't have any injuries there. Left tackle. Let's kind of just see about. I want to double check to make sure that we have all the highest rated guys that we have for right now listed at the positions. So yeah, do we not have another right guard? I guess we don't. So Will Hernandez is the guy. And Paris Johnson is our first-round pick. I forgot that the Cardinals drafted him in the first round. Now, I like Paris. His size coming out of Ohio State, 6'6", 313. This guy is a beast. He's definitely a player that I definitely would want to keep here, and hopefully we can build up. He fits our scheme, so that's good. Beecham is backing him up. He's a good backup tackle, so maybe we could re-sign him. I don't know if he's on the last year of his deal or not. He's been in the league for 11 years, so he's getting long in the tooth. He may retire, but I don't know. Watkins, yeah. So we got Leke Fotu and Strong, so yeah. Linebackers, we got the highest rated guys out there, and Zahir White, I think, is decent, but he's not anything too crazy, if you will. We don't have very highly. Let's see. Let's go with Dennis, and let's put BJ Ojabari in there as well, because he's higher rated as a right outside linebacker. So we're going to go with that. He's a rookie, but rookie's got to grow. Corners, we're looking okay. I got Thompson, and of course Buddha's out there. So yeah, so we're good in terms of safeties. Now we got a bunch of guys hurt, so a lot of these adjustments to the depth chart, we can't really do too much because we're limited in terms of what we can do. So yeah, I like Dortich as our kickoff and punt returner. I think he'll be solid there. Long snapper, I don't think we really have one. It's like really designated for that, unless we have a tight end or something. Oh, Aaron Brewer, he's our long snapper. Let's put him in there. Let's put him as our long snapper. I think he actually is one in real life. I could be wrong, but I think he is. All right. Well, this is kind of just basically the way that we're going. It's not very good starting out this rebuild. This one could take a while, but you know what? The first rebuild that everybody does in Madden is always a challenge anyway. So it is what it is. Now, I want to take a look at the free agent pool, because I don't know, because if we're not going to be able to have Kyler Murray for the first full season of this, I need a quarterback, and I want to see who's out here. I don't want to make a trade for a quarterback, because I just don't think that would be worth it. All right, we got PJ Walker out here, Carson Wentz is out here, and so is Nick Foles, and so is Joe Flacco. None of these guys really fit our scheme, so yeah. But I want veteran presence out there, just in case something happens to Dobbs. I want to have some presence out there. So Walker's pretty decent out of Temple. He's the highest rated, 66 overall. But you know what? Let's bring in Carson Wentz as our backup quarterback for this season. Now, he actually is rated higher than Dobbs, so we actually may go ahead and start him, just to give us a little bit of a better chance there, and to really see what we're going with. Okay, so let's take a look at the offensive linemen that are available for free agents. I don't know how many we'll be able to sign, but we'll have to see. Now, Luan fits our scheme. let's see if we can bring him in. Bring him in on a 1-year deal. Because right now our offensive linemen, these guys are all just low rated guys. But I wanted a good left tackle to protect the blind side of whoever our quarterback is. I mean, obviously they're not going to be guys that we're going to be really serious about. Let's go ahead and sign Matt Pratis as well, because we need a better center, because right now our current center is going to be injured for the whole season. So I want to be able to give us some stability there. And now I can't really do too much. I'm not going to sign, every single highest rated guy. So yeah, our defensive line is absolutely in need of a spark. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Chris Wormley as well for as a defensive end. He's a 76 overall. We're definitely probably going to have to cut some guys, but it is what it is, because I'm just trying to. I know, obviously, with rebuild, you don't sign a bunch of good players to help you out, but this team is terrible. Linebackers, I don't really think there's anybody really too solid out there. So you know what? We're actually going to go with that. We're going in with a few veterans. So we got Wentz, we got Pratis, and we got Wormley, defensive end. Now I know that because of now we're in the preseason, so we can afford to do cut days at the end. So let's go ahead and advance to next week and do that. So I think basically based on the fact that Wentz is 76 and Dobbs is 64, Wentz is our starter right now. We lose our first preseason game. Let me actually take a look at our roster and see what Wentz's number is, because I might want to change his number to 11 if I can. If I can't, it's not a big deal, because I think because Wentz is a 1-year rental. Okay, so he actually is able to wear number 11, and he's going to be our starter for at least the rest of this season, just to help out with some just getting maybe a few wins and just not completely losing every single game. So Wentz, yes, is our starter, and Luan is in there as our starting left tackle now because of the adjustments that we made, which is good. And as far as our center, Pratis is in there now, so that's good. And Wormley should be projected. Yes, he's now our new left end, 76. Just to get some more help. I mean, because we got a lot of low-rated guys, and the biggest thing that I didn't realize is that we weren't going to be able to have Kyler Murray for the first season. So that's pretty tough. Now, in terms of looking beyond this season into the future, I do want to keep Kyler Murray as our quarterback. He's very multidimensional. I know he's short. I know he has off-the-field issues in real life, but none of that really matters in the Madden universe. So I want to continue to keep Kyler Murray and build around him for next season in 2024. This season is just going to be a wash. I'm still going to play the final game of the regular season for sure and do that. So first 2 preseason games, we've lost 20-14, so we're probably not going to get a win in the preseason, but it is what it is. The uniforms have been updated properly, so that's good, because I know the Cardinals have new uniforms this year, and they're actually more simplified, which is kind of good, but it's also kind of like, not really the biggest fan in the world. So let's go ahead and advance to the final week of the preseason, and we'll get to cut down day, and we'll really kind of trim this roster, and we really got to do some trimming based on the acquisitions that we made. So we're going to have to make some moves. So we lost all 3 preseason games. We didn't win a single one of them. I'm guessing that Wentz just didn't really play well in any of them, but that's to be expected. Okay, so now we got to cut players, and we've got some decisions to make. So I want to keep 3 quarterbacks active because we won't be able to use Murray. Those are our 3 active running backs because our backup running back is hurt for the rest of the year too. So I don't want to get rid of him. 4 receivers. Let's put Michael Wilson over on practice squad. And as far as our tight ends, we have our long snapper in him. So let's go ahead and cut. Let's go ahead and move Elijah Higgins to the practice squad. Swain, McBride. Let's keep those guys active. We only have to cut 2 more guys. Carter O'Donnell. We can go ahead and cut him because we have Lou on there. And let's go ahead and also, let's see. We can't move any of these guys to practice squad, which is a little bit unfortunate. Left end. Let's move Stills to the practice squad now since we got Wormley in there. Okay. So not a whole lot of big-time adjustments had to be made with the adjusting of like the depth chart and things like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and advance to the regular season. We got Week 1 against the Washington Commanders. In real life, the Commanders beat the Cardinals in Week 1, I think by like 3 points. So we'll see. But we're going to simulate to the middle of the season. And, oh yeah, I got to choose the draft class. Download from Madden Share. I want to go ahead and do that. I want to make sure I use the same file as I did with the Cowboys franchise. Okay, so Thomas Official. I think this is the one that I'm looking for. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this one. Just overwrite it. He may have done some updates, so I want to go ahead and just overwrite that file. All right. Hopefully, as long as guys like Caleb Williams are in here, that kind of gives me an indication. Okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, so this is up to date. This is the right roster that I'm looking for, so that's good. Okay, took care of getting the draft class roster, got that properly set up. So let's go ahead and we can upgrade some players from the final preseason game. So let's do that. And all right. So hire and assign scouts. Let's do that. Yeah. So I like that. I like where they're going. We'll just leave the scouts to their business. Took care of that. All right, manage staff. Okay. All right. Well, this is going to be a pretty interesting first season. Although I will say, based on the moves that we made, our offense has jumped up to a 76 overall, and our overall dipped to it went to a 75. Our offense went to a 76. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get a few wins during the season. I'm not expecting anything too big. We may have a pretty high draft pick, but we'll just have to wait and see. So let's go ahead and advance to the middle of the season and see where the Arizona Cardinals are at. Let's see how bad we are. Based on the fact we lost every preseason game, I'm not expecting too much in the first year, but it is what it is. If we're a team that's, well out of the playoff picture, I'll still play the final game of the regular season with this team just to kind of get a feel for them and see with, some of the talent that we still have, like what we can work with going into 2024, because this looks like a rebuild that has a lot of work that needs to be done. And, we just got to find a way to build around Kyler Murray, because I like James Conner and I like Marquise Brown, but there need to be more weapons for Murray to use. And I know he, in real life, is really disgruntled with the fact that, hey, y'all let Hopkins go. You got rid of decent running backs years ago. I can't work with all of this right here. So, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. We've already been bit by the injury bug pretty bad, so I don't know what other injuries we're going to have during the rest of the season, but I have to imagine it won't be anything too great. But fortunately, next season, we're going to be able to get Kyler Murray back and be able to utilize him, so we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah. Another team I was thinking about rebuilding was the Packers, but they actually have a decent rating. We could just go with the whole new Jordan Love experiment and see what we can do there. So we're actually not in terrible shape. We're 3-4, but I mean, but it's gonna take a really big late season charge in order to make the playoffs with this team, because right now in our division, in the NFC West, in the NFC West, The Niners, well, it's actually still a little bit wide open. The Seahawks are 1-5, so I guess year 2 for Geno Smith just isn't really working out. So we're 3rd in the division. The Rams are 3-4. 49ers are 4-3. A little surprised the 49ers aren't doing better. I mean, that's the team that we got to worry about because that's the best team in the division, one of the best in the NFL. They got a great defense. Yeah, this is going to be that's going to be something pretty rough. So yeah. All right. So scouting national focus, delegate decisions right there. Let's go ahead to the negotiating screen and see what guys we got on expiring contracts. And let's see kind of, what we're looking like. We have a whole lot of cap room. And Marquise Brown is on an expiring deal, and I definitely want to keep him for as long as I can. Let's start out with this neutral offer and see what he says. Exactly the offer. Next season will be great. Okay, cool. So Brown, it didn't really take a lot to get him back. Luan is a 1-year rental, so I'm going to go ahead and let him walk. I'm not going to bring him back. Wormley is interested in re-signing, and, that could be a solid option, but I think I want to go and get a better defensive end than him. Paredes, his interest is not really up there, so I'm not going to worry about that very much. I really just want to bring back guys who are interested. Antonio Hamilton is a young corner who's solid, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get him back on a 1-year deal. Excited and stay with a great team. Okay, so we've got, he's basically our 3rd-string corner, and I know I shouldn't be investing like that. Wentz, you're one and done here. You know that, mister. Wallace, what guys can we not negotiate with? Well, there's a lot of them, but we'll get to those guys towards the end. We just got to negotiate with the guys that we have the ability to do so with now. Fotu, we can get a better starting defensive tackle than him. We're going to have to upgrade everywhere. Christian Matthew, just for depth, let's go ahead and bring him back on a... Will a team-friendly deal get you to come back? Really poor contract. Come back with something better. Okay, well, we're not going to fight too much tooth and nail for you, sir. So we may let that go. Mac, James Conner's going to be here, I think, for at least 1 or 2 more seasons, so I'm not really going to worry about bringing him back. We can get another running back. Wallace, yeah, I think he's the guy that we can invest in for a couple of years. Not considering shorter deals at the moment. What the heck? Okay, well, Wallace may be out of the question as far as I'm concerned. I don't really want to spend too much investing in these guys. Somebody else that I was considering, possibly... Christian Matthew. Oh, well, I already submitted that offer, so yeah. So Boyd, I think, is somebody that I definitely want to try to get back. Former UT standout. We need depth at corner, so maybe Watkins for depth, but he's not going to be a starter next year. We're going to be looking for upgrades really across the board. I think Swain can take a hike. We'll just bring back our punter just because I don't want to go out looking for another one. Although it's 65 overall. I mean, punters are punters. You don't really need to invest too much. Dobbs, we're going to let walk. We're going to, because Kyler Murray's still going to be here, we're basically just going to upgrade the entire backup quarterback room. We're just going to keep Clayton Tune here and maybe get somebody else to be the 2nd stringer for next year, something like that. Ismail, I think, is the guy we're going to bring back because we're going to let our starting center walk. So we're going to probably bring him back. And because Castillo doesn't really, his interest is pretty low. Woods, I mean, yeah, Ezekiel Turner, I think I may look at bringing him back for depth reasons, even though he's 57 overall. I don't really want to try to invest too much in guys that are only in the 50s because, who knows how much development could really be there. So our last game, we beat the Seahawks 33-27. I mean, they're the worst team in the division, so take that with, whatever grain of salt you want. So let's take a look actually at the injury report, and I want to see if there's any new injuries that have come up since we've added Carson Wentz as our starter for this season, and, things have changed. So I think these guys are guys that, yeah, these guys were already on IR. Yeah, so I don't think we have any new injuries. Yeah. So we don't have any new injuries. All these injuries are from when we started this franchise. So yeah. So we're gonna go. With that. So let's go ahead and advance to the next week. We got a game against the Baltimore Ravens this week. They're 4-3. We're 3-4. We'll see. We lost by 15, or I think with 15 points. Yeah. Okay. Well, so it is what it is. Let's go ahead and talk to the media. Practice squad players signed. Dolphins have signed. So the Dolphins signed guys off our practice squad, so that's not too great. And now we got a media question to answer. You're under 500 right now, and you've watched this team struggle through the first half of the season. Turning around as soon as possible has to be the mindset right now, doesn't it? Yes, I mean, I really think that's all we needed in the Super Bowl. So it's absolutely, I believe this team is better than the record is, but we're not. And there's going to be changes. I mean, coachman, you know that we're not good this season as long as Kyler Murray is not our quarterback. I mean, you know that. Any penny pinching sports writer, me included in that conversation, knows that. So yeah, but we had a bunch of players to upgrade, so that's good. We do have some staff points to spend, but I'm not going to worry about that because we only got 5 points. I want to start spending the points when we get up to the double digits for our head coach and for our coordinators. All right, let's go back to the negotiating screen and see if we can try again with that corner. Maybe give him a little bit of a sweeter deal. But I'm not going to be breaking the bank for him. Don't get me wrong with that. Wallace said he wasn't doing shorter deals, I don't think. So let's go with this player-friendly deal for 3 years. Not considering shorter deals, that's 3 years, dude. That's not short. Okay, well, Wallace is being a stiff, so pause. So I'm not going to probably, I'm sorry, Wallace. If you're going to be this stingy and you're 26 years old and, yeah, I'm not going to mess with you. I'm sorry. You blew it. I think Matthew was in the same boat. Let's go with a neutral deal of 2 years. Can you stay for 2 years? I could find a better team in free agency that will match this current offer. Okay, well, all right, Matthew. So it's your funeral. Fotu, maybe I could bring him back just for depth. I mean, he's basically our starting defensive tackle, but 69 overall. That's just terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to mess with it. Now, Chris Boyd, I do want to mess with you. What about 1 year? That's a good offer. Glad we got the deal done. Okay, so we were able to get Chris Boyd, so we're going to have some depth at cornerback returning. Because we struck out with Christian Matthew twice, but we got Boyd, who I think is a little bit better. Even though he's 68, Matthew's a little in the 70s, but still. Got a chance to be able to develop. These young players, they're not going to be asking for a whole lot of money anyway. So let's just go with what we can. And okay, so the only other guys that are down on the list that I need to wait for the opportunity to negotiate are punter, Cooney. We're going to bring him back. Week 12 is our first week that we can negotiate with him. And let's see, was there somebody else? Keith Ismail. Yeah, for depth purposes, yeah, I'm going to look to bring him back. Even though we're going to let our injured starting center walk. Pratis, I'm not really going to mess with bringing him back. And we're going to go ahead and bring back Ismail. Hopefully he develops a little bit more, but we could draft a center or get a better center in free agency. So we're going to go with that. And I think maybe Ezekiel Turner, even though he's 58 overall. I mean, like I said, so we're only got like about 3 players for the rest of the negotiating, for the rest of the in-season negotiating that I probably want to even really mess with. So yeah. Okay, so we've got a matchup against the Cleveland Browns this week. They're surprisingly 3-4. I mean, they don't have injuries. Watson's there. But yeah, this could be an upset win. We're 3-5. We're under 500. They're under 500. So we'll see how this goes. Could be an upset win, but I don't know. Nope. So now we are 3-6. We lost, and we have a new injury. Oh boy, who's hurt now? So Chris Wormling is out for 3 weeks with a torn labrum. Okay, well, season's still pretty young. We're just going to have to go with our original lineup. So Wormley's going to be out for 3 weeks, which, unfortunately, based on the fact that he got hurt, doesn't really give me confidence to try to re-sign him now for sure at this point. So it is what it is. All right, let me go back to negotiating and see if maybe I can get our punter back. But I don't know. Coolier, Watkins, Swing. Okay, so we're not even close to week 12 yet. So we got a little ways to go. All right. Got a matchup against the Falcons this week. We're once again playing a sub 500 team, 4-5 to 3-6. But look at their overalls. Their overall is actually not that bad. They have they're 81s across the board. So this will be a tough one. Not many wins have come so far, but I expected that for the first year of the rebuild. All right, so we picked up another loss. I think we're on a 3-game losing streak now since I kind of started doing the simulation. Let's go to breakout defensive lineman. Let's see who it is. So it's Leaky, Coach. I don't know if it's the food they're serving in the team cafeteria or what, but I've been on fire recently. Last week was the best game of the season for me. I want to be one of those guys who can do that every week. I'm ready to take it to the next step, man. So let's bring it to the Texans this week. Hold the Texans less than 100 yards. Okay. Well, okay then. So our starting defensive tackle, he's getting a little confident. That's cool. But yeah. He may be able to achieve some of that against the Texans this week because they're 1-8. So I guess C.J. Stroud is having a tough rookie season. Not good. That's not good. All right. So I'm gonna wait one more week because week 12 is when we can negotiate with our punter and try to bring him back and keep him on the roster. So we got the Texans this week. They're rated a little bit better than us. They obviously have a better quarterback situation with C.J. Stroud as opposed to us having Wentz as our starter for this season. So, despite the fact that they're 1-8, they could be a tough team. They're a tough team to deal with, I would imagine. So, we'll see. We could get a win this week, but I'm not counting too much into it. I'm not really going with the super tanking mode, but we could. So we lost big to the Texans. We didn't even get in the double digits. We lost 29-8. So I'm guessing our defensive tackle didn't do well. Roll out the red carpet, baby, because I have arrived. Did you see me out there, Coach? I'm an anchor on the defense. Okay, well, so he's going to get upgraded. He's getting an XP boost. So maybe that'll change the way that I think about him as a defensive tackle if he's breaking out like that. So you know what? Let me reconsider. Maybe bringing him back. Foku, who's our defensive tackle. Currently, he's our starting defensive tackle. He's not very highly rated, sure, but he's actually jumped up a little bit. And his interest is up there. Maybe it wouldn't take too much to convince him to come back. Would this neutral deal cut it? Happy to sign and continue for a great organization. Okay. Just because he's been breaking out lately, I think it's worth it to go ahead and bring him back. Some of these guys' ratings are jumping up just a little bit, but not very much. So I'm not worrying too much. All right. Cooney, we need you back as our starting punter. Will you take a 1-year deal? Offer's perfect. Can't wait for next year. Okay, so we don't have to worry about a punter in the offseason, so that's good. Because I just don't like messing with special teams. I mean, you can always go get one, a kicker or a punter in this game, but, you know, just don't really want to mess with it too much. Okay, so the next player that I absolutely, definitely want to try to invest in is Keith Ismail, our, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. It's like Rocket Ismail, but, you know, but I think that is how you pronounce it. Even though it's more like mail, like delivering the mail, but it's like mail there. It's different. I don't know. So Keith, we're gonna look to bring him back week 15. We negotiate with him, and then Ezekiel Turner. His interest is up there, and he fits our scheme. He's a young linebacker. He's 27 years old. Well, that's not really young, but young enough to maybe still develop. We'll probably just bring him back for one more year, and if he doesn't develop, then we're just going to let him walk. And the real reason I'm considering only bringing him back is really for depth purposes, because I want to have at least some depth on this team, so that way we can, clear up some of the salary, and we can hopefully spend a little bit of big bucks in free agency this offseason. Because outside of offensively, outside of Kyler Murray as our quarterback, any position that we can upgrade in the offseason, we're going to try to upgrade, because there's going to be potential to upgrade a lot in free agency based on who's available, if you ask me. Now, then again, I don't know what the pool will look like, but we need to look at all options, and we really need to upgrade. So, yeah, because I want to try to get this team respectable, if not next year, at least the next year, where we're on the edge of fighting back into a playoff spot with hopefully Kyler Murray still as our quarterback. But that's a long way away. We still got to get through the first year, which has been so far a pretty tough one to handle. And we got a divisional matchup this week. So we are now at the bottom of the NFC West. But the Seahawks and the Rams only have 3 wins just like us. The 49ers, it looks like they've put their foot on the gas pedal a little bit more, and they're starting to pull away in the division. Although it's 6-4, that's a little bit underwhelming considering how much talent they have. But the 49ers are the best team in this division by far, and right now they could be on the verge of running away with it. So the Rams are 3-7, we're 3-8. They do have a 99 overall Aaron Donald, but I don't think that's really helped them very much, because Matthew Stafford must not be playing very well. And I know Cooper Kupp is banged up, so maybe the Rams are really struggling this year to put together wins like us. And unfortunately, we had a 12-point loss to the Rams, so now we are 3-9. I think that's like 4, maybe 5 straight losses. No, it's 4. It's 5. It's 5 now. All right. Let's see about practice squad players signed. So the Seahawks, they signed Isaiah Zubar off of our practice squad, so we lost another practice squad guy, which, late in the season, there's a lot of teams that are picking up practice squad guys off teams, so, yeah. Paris Johnson has actually gotten up to a 78 overall as a rookie, so that's pretty good. Excited to hopefully build this team, with him as a centerpiece for the offensive line, so yeah. View weekly awards. Did somebody win a weekly award from us this week? I wouldn't think so. Oh, Barnes, our middle linebacker, had 11 tackles. Wow, 11 tackles and an interception, even though we lost. Wow, that's pretty impressive. All right, so our first little accolade of the season, a 3-win team. We'll take what we can get. Okay, so I don't think I can do negotiating. Yeah, I can't negotiate with that linebacker until week 15. So I'm going to kind of just leave that alone until we have to get to it. All right, and this is going to be a pretty tough one. The Steelers actually are having a decent season. They're 6-5. We're 3-9. They got a great defense. Their offense is an 80, and their overall is an 83. So, yeah. Meanwhile, we're rocking 77s across the board. And T.J. Watt is their highest rated player at a 95, so pretty tough. Fortunately, after this week, we got a bye week, so kind of a chance to really lick our wounds, rest up, and get ready to hopefully finish the season strong with a few more wins, but we'll see. So we lost, and we are on now a 6-game losing streak. Not fun. But hey, it's the first year of the rebuild. We're gonna have a lot. We're gonna have the first season be like this. That's why you do rebuilds, and that's what you expect. Jonathan Gannon, let's view his talent tree, because I really want to hopefully get him some upgrades. It's only his first year running the club because the team fired Kingsbury the previous season. So I'm gonna keep Gannon around for at least this season and maybe next season, because he's got some, it's his first year as a head coach, so we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got to figure things out. I mean, then again, he hasn't had his franchise quarterback in the first year of him running the club of this rebuild, so that's been a big disadvantage for him coming in. I mean, it's kind of like, Bobby Petrino in the Michael Vick situation. I mean, that's a tough thing for a coach to deal with in season 10, let alone season 1, so stuff beyond his control as a coach. All right, so out of curiosity, let's take a look at the playoff picture and see what things are looking like. So the 49ers are still leading our division. they're more than likely going to be the only representative from our division in the playoffs this year, because the Rams are pretty bad. The Seahawks are bad. We've now gone into the basement because we're on a 7-game losing streak. So not in good shape for the rest of this. So it is what it is. So the Lions, Panthers, Falcons, Vikings, Packers. Have at it. All right. Well, all right. So let's go ahead. We got the bye week. Not really much going on this week to really look at. So let's advance to the next week. And let's get ready for week 15. And I think this is the week where we can negotiate with that linebacker that I'm considering bringing back. Yep, it's week 15. And look who we got to play. Got to play the best team in our division, who's going to win the division, no doubt about it, in the 49ers. At least they're not the final game of the regular season that I'll have to play. Our final game of the regular season is going to be at home against Seattle, so not a bad matchup for back at home. Plus, it looks like the Seahawks are kind of in a way challenging the Cardinals, so if we win and they continue to kind of, back and forth and kind of fight at each other, we could play spoiler, knock the Seahawks out of the playoff picture. But who knows? We're just playing spoilers of anybody at this point of our season based on how bad we've been. All right. So, yeah, Keith. I forgot about Keith. All right. 1-year deal. Will you take it? Happy to sign and continue. Okay, cool. So we've got our backup center back. Technically, he's third string. Well, actually, he's back in our backup this season because our first starting guy has been out for the whole season. So, all right. So actually, Turner I can't negotiate with until literally the last week of the season. So we're gonna go ahead and hold off on that until we get through week 17 against the Eagles, and then we'll negotiate with him and hopefully try to bring him back on a 1-year deal. Not really investing a whole lot. The biggest guy that we invested in is bringing back Hollywood Brown for a few more years because I want to keep him here for a little bit. Just because we need at least one decent weapon at receiver to maybe get a supplemental receiver to go alongside Brown in the draft or in free agency this offseason. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right. Well, once again, our 8th consecutive loss at the hands of the Niners. We lost by 7, which actually was a closer game than I expected. But a loss is still a loss. And now we got to play the Bears. They're 5-9, so they're not in the playoff hunt, and neither are we. So it's just a battle of 2 bad teams, 2 non-playoff teams. So we'll take it. But it is what it is. Tough first season, but this is the valley, and now we got to hopefully get our peak soon. And we get our first win in 9 games. Wow, we win by 1 point against the Bears. So Carson Wentz was able to deliver another win, surprisingly, and we get our 4th win of the season. So pretty tough accomplishment, but we get win number 4. So not awful, not too bad, but whatever. All right, let's go to the negotiating screen here, and because it's week 17, we can negotiate with Turner, that linebacker, and let's go ahead and try to get him to convince him to come back. His interest is kind of in the medium range, but you know what? Let's see if he will take a very team-friendly deal. Probably not. The length is right, but honestly, that's it. Okay. We'll try next week. We'll go with the neutral offer and get him to come back. All right. So I guess with really the negotiations, we can't lowball these guys with very team-friendly deals, so we're going to go with that. All right. The 7-8 Eagles, so they may or may not be in the playoff hunt because it looks like the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC. They're the number 1 seed right now, unless something's changed, because the last time I looked at the playoff hunt, that's what it looked like. And we got blown out by 27 points to the Eagles. So this is it for us. We're going to upgrade. We're going to go into our final game of the season at home against the Seahawks. I'm going to play 1 game with this team because I feel like they deserve it. This is the team that I've taken over, so I deserve to play at least 1 game with them. The Seahawks are... Let's actually view the playoff picture. I would guess the Seahawks really aren't battling for any position right now, so this game really isn't a spoiler game. So the Cowboys are number 1 in the NFC. They get the first round bye. Falcons and the Vikings, the Packers and the Bucks, the 49ers and the Panthers. We got the Chiefs and the Colts. Steelers, Ravens, AFC North is stacked. Wow, they could have 3 representatives from the division in the playoffs this year. No Browns, though. Bengals and the Bills, if that matchup sticks, that'll be a good rematch of last year's divisional round. And we've got, and the Broncos are the number 1 seed in the AFC. No sign of the, well, then again, if the roster has been updated properly, then Aaron Rodgers is out for the season. But still, the Broncos are the number 1 seed in the AFC. So Russell Wilson, under Sean Payton's leadership, must be having a renaissance season. So, wow. Comes to show it that he get a good coach, he can take the quarterback to the next level. All right, so here we go. Facing off, we're just going to play the moments against the Seattle Seahawks. We got one more game in front of our home fans, in front of any of our fans. We got a journeyman quarterback who's been cast off by 4 teams in his career, 3 teams in his career, in Carson Wentz. His 4th team he's trying to catch on with, but like I've said, Wentz is a 1-year rental for us. But hopefully Wentz can rally the troops and we can get a win in our final game of the season against the Seahawks. The Seahawks aren't playing for anything. We're not playing for anything. We're just trying to finish the season out and get our 5th win. That's what we're going for right now. 5. We're trying to go for our 5th win. So 5-12 is the goal. This season hasn't actually been as bad as I thought, and we didn't start the season off too poorly. We were actually 3-4 after the first 7 games, but after that, we just went on a tailspin. We lost like 9 games in a row, and if we can take care of business in this game, we'll have only won 2 games during basically the back half of our schedule.
Glendale, Arizona.
So this is definitely not the game of the week. We're definitely probably playing in like the 1 a.m. in the 1 a.m. the 12 p.m. slot. So, yeah. But it's the last time we're going to be on this field together, so let's go out there and let's try to execute. We have to start with the defense. Not a very ideal field position here. But we get a tackle in the backfield. Walker goes nowhere.
Rushing in there and hitting him for a loss.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front.
Normally he's back in the lineup. He's off the injury, so that's good. And a little bit of help coming back. I'll make that tackle. There we go. All right, well, okay, but it forces into a 3rd and 9 situation, which isn't
but it
bad.
leaves them with 3rd and still 9 to go. And now as we get toward the home stretch here, the regular season, Charles, let's take a look at the list of key inactives for them in this one.
You know what, let's auto cover 1 high once again. So a little bit of coverage, but not so much for everybody spread out all over the place. Oh, man, and DK Metcalf catches it for the touchdown. Wow, he was wide open. Our corner bit on that one bad. Well, the Seahawks got down the field and scored. We might have turned the ball over. I don't really know. We're back on defense, and once again, Seattle is threatening. It's 1st and 10 inside the 20. Hopefully we get a stop here, because right now we're already down by 7. Come on. Make that sack. There we go. There we go, Cardinals. Let's go. We get a sack with Foku, our defensive tackle, who we re-signed to a quick 1-year deal. So, big play right there. And that's the end of the first quarter. We're down 7-0. But we had a big sack, so now we got them in a really long 2nd down. Let's see if somebody can make a play here for us.
Smith. He's got his
all right.
tight end.
Well, they made the catch, but he got out of bounds pretty quickly. Fant didn't
just
really
inside
get
the 20.
Right.
Just 3 yards on the catch
big
there. He couldn't get away. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
It's going to be tough here. Make a
Throwing
play
now
here.
is Gino.
There we go. Get up. Ooh, there we go, White. Way to make that tackle. Let's go. Put him on his back. Okay, so good thing is that we forced him to a 4th down here in the red zone, so they're going to kick a field goal.
And this one will be a
we got to get something going on offense. Hopefully they'll let me take control on this next drive.
Myers' kick is good.
We're down 10-0, but this game is still not out of reach by a long shot. But we got to put something together on offense here in the second quarter. And we are driving down the field here, so that is good. Carson Wentz has us on a drive, and we still got plenty of time in the second, so I'm not going to feel like I have to rush things. We have a 3rd down and 3. Let's run it with Connor. Easily picks up the first down. Let's go, James. Way to run that football. Awesome. Connor's a decent running back, so he can run the ball effectively. Be in good shape. Ooh, you know what? Let's go with the Cardinal wide post. Let's audible that.
Wentz now on 1st down.
Oh, Wentz. Here we go. Nice catch. Oh! And Ertz almost got the first down. He's down 1.
Brought down, but a nice little gain. Keep in mind they can still get a first down here as they come up on 2nd and inches.
2nd down and inches. Come on, Connor. Touchdown, Arizona. Let's go. We give up 10 points, but we answer the bell with a James Conner touchdown. Now we're back in this game.
Second quarter, this defense.
All right, second quarter. We got them in a 3rd down and 10. If we can get off the field here, we can drive down the field and potentially take the lead. Come on, get in there for the sack. Oh my goodness, come on. Buddha, please get him. Please get. Oh my goodness, I missed him totally. I should have dove and I tried to go for the hit stick on Lockett. Man, that's a devastating blow right there.
Ready to go with their next drive and at the line
well,
of the Cardinal offense.
Back on offense.
Partner just looking at some of the struggles
we're down by 10. We have all 3 of our timeouts left, so that's
they start to peer toward the offseason.
Hit him on a deep route. There we go. Let's go. Let's go, Hollywood. Here we go. First down. Timeout. Wow. Big time first play of the drive to get things going. That's exactly what we needed. Heck of a throw by Wentz right there.
As the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
More, get outside. There we go. Little shake route there. There we go. Let's call another timeout. Unfortunately, he didn't get out of bounds. I was really trying to get to the sideline there, so we didn't have to burn that. But we still have 1 timeout left in our back pocket.
As they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining.
If we get 7 here, that'd be great. Really try to fight back in this game.
Wentz now on 1st down.
Uh-oh. Just run it, Wentz. Just run it. Dive. Touchdown, Carson Wentz. Let's go. Carson Wentz with a big-time touchdown run, and now we're going to be only down by 3 points with the extra point. Let's go. Right, well, now we're in the 3rd quarter, and getting that touchdown is huge. Now we got a chance with a field goal here. All right, come on, Prater. We got to tie this thing up. Oh, God. What the heck happened? I thought that was accurate. Oh, man, I think I aimed too low. That was the problem. And Prater had a chance to get this thing tied up and we blew it. But fortunately, our defense has stepped up more in the second half. We're back on offense. 3rd quarter. Minute to go. Let's get in the end zone. Come on. Here we go, Hollywood. Let's go. So far, Wentz has actually played pretty well. That's good. All right, this may be a little bit risky here, but I'm going to go with, once again, the design quarterback draw. It may be with Wentz, but
this one inside the
that might have been a bad call.
Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
And the 3rd quarter's about to end. Yeah, we're not going to get the playoff. All right, well, thankfully Carson Wentz has actually played pretty well in this game, despite the way our season's gone. We got a chance to take the lead. We got a chance to tie it or best take the lead. We got to take advantage here. Can't blow this. Pascal, touchdown, Arizona. Zach Pascal with the touchdown grab. Carson Wentz's first touchdown pass of the game. Let's go. We got the lead in the 4th quarter to start things out. Beautiful. The Seahawks came back, but it looks like they missed the extra point or something. No, they kicked the field goal. I don't know what happened. Okay. Well, we're up by 5. We're back in the red zone once again. Come on, if we can get Connor on a screen pass right here, this could work.
Screen pass to Connor.
Okay.
And he'll get 7 yards.
He got 7 yards. That's solid.
To the 10 before he's taken
I'm going to kind of take my time here because I don't want to leave Seattle with a whole lot of extra time to drive down the field and go win this.
That might set your man free, and that was pretty
good. Go with a reverse to Moore.
Defensively.
Use that speed to get there, Moore. Juke inside. Oh, he almost got in the end zone. Oh, he did. Touchdown, Moore on the jet sweep. Let's go. And even under Carson Wentz and him not being as dynamic a quarterback as Kyler Murray, our offense has played decent in this game. Right, well, it's 3rd down right now. We got a chance to get them off the field. We're up by 3 points. We got to finish this. Come on. Make that tackle, Buddha. Let's go. Buddha came up with a big tackle on 3rd down. That's why we're keeping you here in Arizona, Buddha, to make those plays. All right, so we're back on offense. We just really need to play keep away here, so you know what, Coach, Gannon, we're not going with a bunch of pass plays. We're going to run this ball with James Conner and win this game. We're going to be a little bit conservative here, but we're going to do it. We have the 32nd ranked offense, and we've busted the clock and put up, a lot of points here, so yeah.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a 2nd down and 4. They'll stay on the ground with Connor again.
I hesitate a little bit because it's an RPO. Okay. One of the linemen picked it up. Oh, thank God. Oh, my goodness. We can't turn the ball over here, guys. We just can't do that.
But a teammate comes along and scoops it up.
Let's go with a counter.
It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base and
3rd down and 4. Maybe a little bit risky running the ball.
The next guy comes through.
We're at the 2-minute warning, but
avoids the turnover.
Maybe I should reconsider
So
our
the
options.
Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get
3rd
you
and 4.
reset.
We gotta pick this up. If we pick this up, the game's over.
They try to hold on to this lead.
You know what? I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna trust Connor. I'm gonna trust him here. 3rd down and 4. Let's pick this up and win it.
It's Connor.
Oh, I think he's short. No, he's not. He got it. Oh, James Conner. We put the ball in his hands, and he delivered, and he got the 1st down. That could very well ice it. Big run by James Conner. Let's go.
Home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
All right, we just got to run the ball, milk the clock, and get out of here with the win. Connor's been beasting all game, so we're going to feed him the rest of this game.
That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. On 1st and 10 is Connor, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
The Seahawks burn their last
Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Connor up the middle. Down to the 25.
Clock's still running, though. It's 3rd down and 7. We could pass this.
4th quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
You know what? Just maybe risk it. I'm going to put the ball in the air.
Offensive line, no leakage up front.
We're going to milk the clock a little bit here because they can't stop
any type of an issue. But
I don't want to throw an incomplete pass.
Out to the perimeter.
I don't want to give them a timeout by basically throwing it away and stopping the clock. If it's 4th down, we're definitely going to kick it.
Back to throw. Wentz. Flush to his right.
We're just going to have to check down.
This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down at the 21 or 22.
Okay. That's okay, though.
So here comes the veteran.
We're going to kick a field goal.
A big spot in this ball game.
We're going to kick a field goal with Prater.
The lead to 6.
That was a very... Prater, what the heck?
Back out. Needed maybe a
oh my,
two, but it's no good.
Oh my God!
And that will keep this a 3-point game.
Oh, Matt Prater, what in the name of Mile High City where you used to kick in Denver was that?
Seconds remaining. A chance to end this
what
season
was
with a bang
that?
as they come up with a 1st and...
I'm sorry, y'all. That was just ridiculous. Okay. Oh, my God. So, we gave them the ball right here. Oh, God. But you know what? I think that is our season in microcosm. Please sack him. Let's go. We get a sack. Okay. Big sack right there by Collins. All right. Well, they have no timeouts left, so they got to go no huddle. Okay, just get him down. There we go. Good tackle. Let's go. All right, now they're in a third down.
As he gets about 10.
Okay, I was like, please don't.
Definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical third down here.
Sack him again. Oh, get the ball. Get the ball.
And the Cardinals have got it.
You know what? Just go down. Just go down. I want to wind down the clock. I don't care about scoring the exclamation point. Let's just cheese. Wow. So the defense did come through in the end. We put pressure on Geno Smith twice, made him fumble, and the game's over with, and we're going to win after a terribly missed field goal by Matt Prater. Maybe his overall is dipping. We may have to consider looking at a new kicker, but I'm not going to invest in that too much because we're going to have Prater for at least a few more years. But we're going to get the close win in our final game of the season against Seattle. Wentz played pretty well. The offense, we did pretty well in this game. We may have the worst rated offense according to that stat, but we put up 353 yards. Wentz played well. He had a touchdown run, a touchdown pass. James Conner played well. We had some good, we had some clutch catches from Hollywood Brown throughout the game. So, pretty good win, if you ask me.
By just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have.
Definitely not.
Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, it'll be double digits in losses as they fall to 7-10 for their final.
So we at least take some pride. We beat our division rival at home in Seattle. So they have double-digit losses. We've got double-digit losses as well. And that's it for the first season. I'm going to probably wrap up the live stream here pretty soon, guys. But we got coaching upgrades to do. So I'm going to kind of just, I'm going to simulate through the rest of the actual season. Let's see who makes the playoffs. Let's see. Let's actually go to, we can't manage the staff right now. We don't have enough points for that. All right. So we finish our season at 5-12. We did finish last in our division, which is unfortunate. But you know what? We're probably going to have a pretty high draft pick. So we'll go with that. No coach will be fired. We're going to stick with Gannon. So let's take a look at the playoff picture. Wild card round, we've got the Falcons against the Bucks, Packers against Washington, San Francisco against Carolina, and on the AFC side, we've got the Bills against the Steelers, the Colts against the Bengals, the Ravens against the Chiefs, and bye weeks, Broncos and my Cowboys. So let's see who. So let's see what happens in the playoffs. Let's see who wins it all. And, yeah. Probably the last screen I'm going to look at is retirement and see if we had anybody from the Cardinals retire. I think the only player that I may see retiring is Beacham, who's one of our backup left tackles. He's been in the league for 11 years. He may call it quits. All right. So wild card round. The Bucks upset the Falcons, surprisingly. Not too surprising. I think they're a better team anyway. The Packers beat the Commanders. The 49ers beat the Panthers. That's to be expected. A little bit of a close game, but still. So we've got Packers in San Francisco, and we've got Dallas and Tampa Bay. Bills beat the Steelers. Bengals upset the Colts. Okay, so the higher seed, lower seed beats the higher seed. And the Ravens upset, and the Ravens beat the Chiefs. So the Chiefs will not be repeating in this rebuild. In this, the first year of this rebuild, the Chiefs will not be repeating as Super Bowl champions. So we've got the Ravens against the Bills, and we've got the Broncos taking on the Bengals in the divisional round. So let's see who advances to the championship games. Let's see what happens. All right, let's take a look at the NFC and AFC championship games. All right, we've got Denver taking on the Bills, and we've got the Cowboys taking on the 49ers in the NFC championship game. Wow. Throw it back to the 90s, y'all. And Dallas, so the Cowboys beat the Bucks by 4. The Niners beat the Packers, blew them out. And now we've got, and the Broncos beat the Bengals in a close game. Wow. And the Bills beat the Ravens. Broncos, Bills, Cowboys, and the 49ers. That's an exact same rematch of the championship games in 1990. No, it's not. I'm kidding myself. Because in 1991, the Bills did play the Dolphins in the AFC Championship game, but in 91, the Cowboys weren't even near a Super Bowl contending team. But hey, a little bit of good teams from the 90s, so a little bit of a throwback there. But wow, that's going to be a good game. Cowboys and Niners once again, fourth time fighting for a chance to go to the Super Bowl in the history of meeting in the NFC title game. Fourth NFC title meeting between the two. Who's going to the Super Bowl? The Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. They beat the Niners by 2 points at home, and they're going to be taking on the Buffalo Bills. Wow. Cowboys and Bills like 92 and 93. What a Super Bowl matchup. Man, all of the former players like from both teams, from Troy, Emmett, Michael, Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, tossing it back to the 90s. Wow. What a good matchup for the Super Bowl for the first year. All right, so let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster. I don't know if we had any Cardinals make it, but let's see. So Desmond Ridder made the Pro Bowl. Holy cow, at only 74. So did Jordan Love and Bryce Young. Wow. No, well, Dak probably couldn't play because he's playing in the Super Bowl. Did we have any Cardinals that made it? Looks like for offense, we didn't have any make it. What about on defense? Collins made it, our starting left outside linebacker. Okay, he had a big sack in the final game against Seattle. So he made the Pro Bowl. A little bit of surprise. And Buda Baker, all reliable. Buda Baker made it. And that's it. So Buda Baker and Collins, our linebacker, made it from the Cardinals. Let's see who wins the championship. Who takes home the Lombardi Trophy? Is it the Cowboys or the Bills? Is it championship number 6 for Dallas or championship number 1 for the Bills? Let's see what happens. Well, actually, we can't because, sorry, that was very anticlimactic. Let's go ahead and view yearly awards. I forgot that, with Pro Bowl week, you view the awards as well. So Josh Allen is the MVP of the league. Coach of the year goes to Sean Payton. Not really a surprise. It looks like he's resurrected Russell Wilson's career. Let's take a look at the NFC side of things. Offensive player of the year went to Cooper Kupp. Bunch of Cowboys in there. No Cardinals. Defensive player of the year. No Cardinals there either. Offensive Rookie of the Year. No Cardinals there either. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nobody. Best QB. Carson Wentz ain't even there at all. Come to be expected. Best running back. Connor not even anywhere near that conversation. No love for Hollywood Brown in terms of receiver. So, yeah. What offensive lineman? Nope. Defensive lineman. Nope. Linebacker. So Zaven Collins is his name. I kept forgetting what his first name was, so sorry about that. So Zaven Collins actually was in the running for Best Linebacker of the Year. He was 4th. So he's definitely a guy that we're going to look to build our defense around if he continues to develop well. Best DB. No love for Buda Baker, unfortunately. Best kicker. Matt Prater. Came in 5th for best kicker, even though he missed that field goal for us. So not a whole lot of love for any Cardinals. I mean, like I said, we had Zaven Collins and Buda Baker make the Pro Bowl, so those are the only accolades we're going to get from the first year. So it is what it is. All right, so sorry that was anticlimactic. Now let's for real see who wins it. Is it championship number 6 for Dallas? Or is it the first Super Bowl in franchise history for the Bills? Let's see what happens. Cowboys win the Super Bowl. They beat the Bills 31-8. Yeah, it wasn't even close. So 6 Super Bowl championships for my Dallas Cowboys. So just like in our regular Cowboys franchise, they win the championship. The MVP is Dak Prescott. And that's the first year. So once again, the Bills denied at the altar by my Cowboys for a Super Bowl championship. Madden cover athlete Josh Allen just couldn't get it done. And that's it. So let's go ahead and upgrade players, because we probably can upgrade some of the practice squad guys that we had. All these guys are practice squad players that we kept during the season, so we're going to upgrade them. It is staff week still, but we're not going to be doing any changes with our staff because we just need to get better talent. We're going to have a decently high pick. And we're going to get Kyler Murray back next season. So, Gannon, we're going to see if we can turn around the Cardinals, continue to build around Kyler Murray, get him some more talent, and hopefully get this team back into competing in the division. All right, let's go to Mock Draft 3 and see, and I'm going to probably wrap this live stream in a couple of minutes. Do we have the number 1 pick? No way. We have 2 pick. Okay. I guess we have 2 first-round picks. I didn't even know that. So, wow. We've got... Oh, my goodness. Okay, this is going to make things very interesting. So, it looks like that we have 2 first-round picks. We didn't make any trades, but this may be holdovers from other things that we've done. So we've got the 1st overall pick, and we've got the 5th pick overall. So we must have the 5th one because we made trades the previous years. So do we have the worst record in the league? I got to see this, guys, because I did not think that at 5-12 we would have the worst record in the league. Maybe we do. I don't know. Let's take a look at the standings. Let's see here. Can we even view the standings? Or is everybody back at 0-0? No. Okay. So for the whole NFL, did we have the worst record of the whole league? No, we didn't. Okay, we didn't have the worst record. The Texans did. But they traded. Did they trade out of the first overall pick or something? That's weird. The Saints and the Bears were all worse than us, but we have the number 1 pick? You know what? I think this is coming from the Will Anderson bid. I think this is coming from what happened in last year's draft with a bunch of the trades that happened early. But guys, Caleb Williams, what do you look like? Projection is top 5. Player notes, will take calculated risks as a passer. Beautiful spiral on all his passes. Could use some improvement at recognizing pressure. Does well to avoid sacks by throwing the ball away. Loves to run and play outside of structure. Okay. League average release time throwing. Okay, well, do we do it? Do we go with Caleb Williams with the number 1 pick, since we have it, based on trades that we've done and all this? It's tempting, y'all. It is really tempting, but I got to think about that before we do it. Kyler, I don't know what we're going to do. This just completely changed the direction that this rebuild could potentially go. Now, for our 5th pick, Jerswan Newton, who's from Illinois, defensive tackle, definitely is a good pick for us at 4th overall. Definitely, if he's there, we should go with him, or we can go with that left end Robinson from Penn State, or maybe even somebody else. But yeah. And so Drake May is projected to go 2nd overall to the Saints. He's out of North Carolina, so that's no surprise. Williams and May are the top 2 quarterbacks in this year's draft. So No question at all. But guys, we could get Caleb Williams and completely change things around in Arizona. But I still like Kyler Murray as our franchise quarterback. So I'm a little bit stuck between, a rock and a hard place, if you will. Actually, no. I'm stuck between a win-win situation. But y'all are going to see what I do next episode in the offseason with that. But first, let's take a look at retirements. Let's see if anybody retired from us. I think maybe one player might have, but let's see. We actually had 3. So Matt Prater retired, so we're going to have to get another kicker. He's retired after 17 seasons. Aaron Brewer, our long snapper / tight end, is retired after 12 years. And Kelvin Beachum is retired after 12 years. He was the guy I expected to retire. So we do have to get a new kicker for sure. Beachum retiring is not that bad because we drafted Paris Johnson, and he just finished up his rookie season. So, we'll be okay. So let's go ahead and actually get to the negotiating screen. Let me take care of just getting that linebacker signed because we didn't do it later on after that. So Ezekiel Turner, let's see if we can bring him back on a 1-year neutral deal. I think free agency will be in the long run. Okay, so you know what? You want to have it your way, like Burger King, you have it your way. All right. So try to get Turner back, but you know what? He's not biting. So you know what? We're just going to go out and we're going to get some talent. We got a lot of work to do, but this is going to do it for the first season of the rebuild. Had a tough first year, finished 5-12, but we've got the first overall pick, surprisingly, based on trades that we made. We also got the 4th pick. So we've got some draft picks in the first round to really start the rebuilding process. So I'm really excited with what we could do. And we could potentially go and get Caleb Williams and completely change the culture in Arizona. And because we do that, maybe we can seek a trade for Kyler Murray. We can get some more draft capital. Maybe we can get another good receiver or a good running back. But lots of decisions to be made. I'm glad I was able to get that final win against the Seahawks. That was a tough win, but we got it done. Obviously, we did it with a roster full of, one-year rental guys, but we managed to put together a 5-win season despite Kyler Murray being gone for the whole season. So it is what it is. All right, you guys, thank you very much for tuning in this live stream. I'll hopefully be back next week with maybe part 2, and I may continue the Cowboys franchise next week as well. But it all depends. Next weekend actually may be another busy weekend for me. There's some other things going on that I can't really talk about. It's more personal, so it may limit how much I can actually get on here and do live streams, basically play video games. But we'll see next week if I can come back. But anyway, thanks for checking out the live stream. This has been your boy Malin, and I'm out. You have a great rest of your day.